Hey guys, Nick here from Just Few Studios and welcome back to another trailer reaction, and today we have the final trailer for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Now before we really jump into this trailer, I just want to give you guys some insight into my feelings about this movie. I'm probably in the minority of people who actually enjoyed The Last Jedi. I thought it was a good Star Wars movie, but with that said, it ended in such a way to where I didn't really have any anticipation for the next film. I mean, as a solo Star Wars movie, I thought 8 was fine. Are there problems with it? Absolutely. But it's fine. But I didn't have any excitement or anticipation for Episode 9. And really, when I saw the first trailer, I didn't get any more excited. It just kind of felt like very reactionary, which this whole trilogy feels reactionary. I think my biggest problem with the sequel trilogy is each movie feels like it's a response to the previous Star Wars movie. It's clear that there was no plan going into making any of them. They just kind of figured it out as they went, which fine in some movies, but an IP like Star Wars, really? I mean, the original trilogy works as one solid film, which each film being a different step in the 3-act structure. But this trilogy is just so all over the place that, like, it's clear that there was no passion, or maybe passion is not the right word to say. There was no planning that went into it ahead of time. They just kind of went, okay, this will probably make money, which it just really shows how Disney just wanted to turn out a Star Wars film right away to make a quick buck. But I digress. So without further ado, let's jump into this trailer and hopefully they prove me wrong. Okay, I like that it's quiet. And Endor, haha! Oh wow, with this lightsaber out.
An instinct.
Huh. Ooh, that was cool. I like the lighting there.
The Force brought us together.
Okay. Planet looks cool. Feels kind of like Endor in the Force thing, and J.J. Abrams definitely liked to call back to the previous Star Wars movies. So ending this trilogy in a similar way to 6. Ooh, that planet looks awesome. I want to see them fight on that. That's going to be exciting. Yes. Alright, this fight's going to... I'm excited for this fight here. Oh, that's really visually awesome.
Have I waited?
Okay, throw in Palpatine.
And now you're coming
Falcon.
together.
Oh, wow. Feels very much so like Return of the Jedi. Ooh.
Your undoing.
What are you doing there?
Taking one last look, sir,
Oh.
at my friends.
Killing off 3PO? Okay. What is 3PO going to do for the story, I wonder? That shot's awesome. Carrie Fisher. R.I.P. Okay. Visually, I think this is going to be cool. Honestly, I thank you for having the helmet on. Ooh, that looks cool. I visually am looking forward to this. And Rey versus Kylo, I'm so excited for it. Was that Palpatine?
Be with you.
Always.
So also, I want to point out, this trailer feels very, very different from the last trailer in terms of tone. But I need to rewatch that, then we'll talk about it. So I really do like how this trailer starts. It basically starts with, this very pretty looking scenery, and you hear nature sounds. Then you see Rey running past the camera, lightsaber on, and then a blaster fires in her direction, and she just kind of bounces it back. Not a clue what's going on here. She drops the helmet, which means she probably just got off a vehicle or something of the sort. And I'm not sure if you guys can see it. There's something flying above her head. Don't know what that is, if it's just supposed to be a bird or if it's something that just works for the story, but worth pointing out. And then we cut from Rey doing a jump in the forest to Rey doing a jump on what is assumably the remains of the Death Star. And Finn's kind of talking underneath about, it's an instinct, it's a feeling, blah, 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 describing the Force, which means is he Force sensitive, maybe? And also, you guys probably don't care about this. I'm going to point it out. Love the color grading. The blues of kind of the light coming in with the oranges of her skin. That looks really nice. And then just more shots of Rey running through this forest planet, which I have not a clue where this is, if this is beginning of the film, or if it's really JJ trying to call back to Return of the Jedi and they end on kind of an Endor-looking planet. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm really curious to see what she's doing on this planet. If I had to guess, I'm guessing the film starts on this planet, but I could be absolutely wrong about that. Then we got the Resistance huddled around. You can see Lando there in his yellow shirt. Easily the most visibly unique person in that shot. And then we get a shot of Rose, which confirms that she's back in this film. And obviously this is probably the part of the trailer that I am most excited for. Just the waves coming in this Rey versus Kylo fight. Fuck yes, I'm excited for this. Oh yeah, and it's probably worth pointing out the fact that Rey says, everyone acts like they know me, but they don't. Then Kylo, as he's walking up, says, I do. Which kind of insinuates that at least he thinks that what he said about her and her parents is correct. That JJ didn't erase that. Which could mean that the theory that she's really a clone could be true. But I don't know. I think that's, if I'm being honest, I think that's giving them too much credit for having planned that out from the start. I don't think that's the case. If they do decide to do that, that'll just because JJ went, what's the quick and easy way to fix this? Oh, I know. And made her a clone. But I don't know if that's true, but this seems to insinuate that at least he thinks he knows her. Whether or not that's actually true, I guess we'll find out, but that's what it's insinuating. Which also, I just love the shot here of him emerging from the wave. Like, that's so cool. JJ, these visuals. You might at least get me to buy a ticket for that. And he just, in my opinion, doesn't look threatening at all in this shot here. Just wet, moppy hair. The black suit doesn't look imposing. The shaggy red lightsaber is kind of cool, but it's barely in frame. Like, that's why I just wish they would keep his helmet on. I think that would look so much cooler if his helmet was on and you couldn't see what his facial expression was, but I digress. Which also, he takes the lightsaber from its normal pointed forward direction and kind of turns it around so it's facing behind him. I don't know if we've really seen him do much backwards saber fighting, and even in the later shots of this fight, I don't think that's what he's doing. So maybe he's doing that as a sign of like, hey, I don't want to fight you unless I have to. Let me talk to you about something. She's like, nah, fuck you. And then he's like, okay, moves the lightsaber around and they duel. But that is also interesting because I don't think she's known for doing the backwards lightsaber. Also, love this shot of the iceberg. Like, holy crap, that's cool. What are they doing here? I don't know. This is not Empire, First Order. Anyway, I digress. It's the First Order ships, so maybe there's something Sidious related here? I don't know. And it is interesting, this is interesting. So the chair in the edit comes right after that shot, but it still has that same kind of bluish light, so maybe Palpatine's has a palace or at least a throne in that iceberg thing. Maybe there's some kind of kyber crystal or something here. I don't know. Badass looking chair though, I'll say that much. Oh yeah, and this is something I missed the first time watching it. What the fuck? Is that a Star Destroyer emerging from the ice or water or whatever it is? Like, what the fuck? Don't know what that's insinuating, but probably something badass. I don't know. And then of course got Millennium Falcon in front of just an armada of motherfucking ships. Yeah, no, so I was right. In this lightsaber fight, Kylo does have the saber pointed forward. So I don't know. I don't know what his plan is here. He could also have just started with it backwards, done a strike, and then moved it forward again. But it seems kind of, what's the opposite of pointless? Meaningful that he did the lightsaber turnaround and not just one of those, hey, you know it would be cool if Kylo did this? Like, I hope it's not that. Then you got a ship kind of floating on this water planet. Don't know who's inside, if this is how Rey got there, if this is Kylo or someone coming to help Rey. I don't know. But Palpatine says something interesting here. He says, by you guys coming together, it's your undoing. The presumption is that is referring to you, because it also happened over the shots of the whole gang in the Millennium Falcon, and he's like, oh, because they came together, it's their undoing. Could also mean that Rey and Kylo coming together is their own undoing. Also, I'm not even going to address whatever the hell this is with C-3PO saying, I just want to get one last look at my friends while he's hooked up to something, because then presumably this is right before that shot from the previous trailers where he has the red eyes, so not a clue what they're doing there. If he's going to, I don't know. I have not a clue what they're doing. Also, this is probably my favorite shot of the whole trailer, this tunnel thing of, them running towards the camera and stuff happening in the foreground and background is so awesome. And then there's this poignant shot of Carrie Fisher as Leia hugging Rey. That's just super sad and sweet. Then fucking Beach Ball Droid BB-8, that's his name, puncture the hole and the canister explodes into yellow dust because of visuals and coolness. And this panning shot's also cool. I would say this movie will probably have amazing visuals. I'm kind of skeptical about the story, but visually I'm excited for the film, both with fights and camera and all that stuff. Then you see the group running horseback. This was probably the shot that lost me, if I'm being totally honest, because the title that came right before it was A Saga Ends. And it made me realize that I'm personally not a big fan of the saga. Like, hearing that line or seeing that line, A Saga Ends, and seeing a shot like this of kind of their triumph, last hurrah type of moment, it should be memorable. That's kind of almost implying this is an Avengers Assemble type shot, but I don't feel anything. And I don't know, a lot of people, it's been interesting, this sequel trilogy has made people really appreciate the prequels, and I have an interesting relationship with the prequels, to where I think on paper the prequels are brilliant, but they're not great in actuality, and I don't think the sequel trilogy makes them any better. It just does make me respect the idea of having a vision. And I feel like I cared more about the characters by this point going into Revenge of the Sith than I do going into The Rise of Skywalker. And I think Force Awakens is a fine movie. I think The Last Jedi is a fine movie. But they don't work cohesively together in a trilogy. And this doesn't feel like it'll work any better to create a cohesive trilogy. So I'm just kind of meh on it. And this shot's also interesting because this looks like the Death Star throne room, because you see that back window there that Palpatine sat in front of, and then you see the remains of his chair right there, and it's Rey and Kylo facing each other, and her lightsaber is drawn, but his isn't, and it almost seems a little bit less confrontational is not the right word. It does seem kind of confrontational. It doesn't seem like they're about to duel. If anything, it seems like they're going to have a conversation or an argument or come together, something along that line. And I say that this is probably one of the more interesting shots in the film because they're both slashing this statue-looking thing. And at first when I saw it, it almost seemed like one of those things where, they're with their lightsabers pressed up against each other and one gets the upper hand and both sabers go into something. But no, they're both striking in the same exact way in unison, like they're working together to slash this thing. And it's visually very important because he's in full dark Kylo thing with the helmet and everything. She's in full white Jedi garb. The background is white, and this is the one kind of black object in the setting. So it could be Palpatine or Shrine related, but it makes me feel like while we do have that fight between Rey and Kylo on that boat thing in the ocean, there's going to be a point of this film where they have to work together to achieve something. And if I had to guess, it's going to be they work together to take down Palpatine. And it's meant to represent the dismantling of the traditional Jedi and Sith ideologies. Because that was something I think JJ said he wanted to do with this trilogy. It's kind of the idea of, Jedis and Siths are no longer a thing. It's just Force users. Some Force users are good, some are bad, but they're not bound to these binary terms of Jedi and Sith. They're just, this person's pretty good, but not totally good, and this person's kind of bad, but not totally bad. And it makes for more complicated characters, and I think this is what this moment's supposed to represent, or at least this film might represent. It's the dismantling of those age-old practices to be more, I don't want to say modern, but more complex. And as the shot starts to fade, even look at them. They're not fighting each other. They stand there looking at the thing they just destroyed together. So it's really interesting. Oh, I also just want to point out, this is that watery planet, and Finn runs over and goes, "Ray!" Which means that he might have been on that speeder thing that was bouncing along the waves. Anyway, moving on. And then you got this big looking Sidious thing, because you see Sidious and there's Emperor Palpatine, evil laugh, and it looks like there's something metal behind him, like he's in a floating chair. And he's just standing or sitting way above Rey right now. And I have not a clue what fucking planet this is. Maybe this is the iceberg? But it definitely has some metal contraption thingy. And I don't know, my theory is that they were going to go off of the original source material where he had that contingency plan of downloading his consciousness into a robot. This doesn't look like a robot considering it's wearing a robe. So I have not a clue what they're doing for Palpatine. And I really wish I cared what they were doing for Palpatine. I'm at a point where I'm like, whatever they do, they're doing. So I'm not going to get happy or upset or excited for whatever. They're going to do what they're going to do. And it's not worth theorizing over it. Because, like, I theorized before Force Awakens came out. And look at the good it did me. Nada. Nothing. Didn't do me any good. And then you get this pretty cute shot of Rey with the blue lightsaber, the blue light hitting her, and then the other side's kind of dark, and it's a slight dark dynamic, and she's kind of staring blankly at the screen, and it's like ooh, that's kind of a cool shot, but I don't know what it means. And you got the Luke saying, "Force will be with you, Princess Leia, always." Nostalgia is really this feeling that I'm getting from this. And then we get the title card, and that's the end of the trailer. I'm sorry if this is kind of a bummy trailer reaction. I wish I could be more excited for it. But I'm not super excited, which bums me. If you are bummed by my reaction, imagine how bummed I am. I love Star Wars, and Star Wars is such a crazy big IP. And this is probably one of the first Star Wars films where I really am just not excited. I guess Solo was also one of those films, but I thought actually Solo was pretty good. Not great. It was not bad, not great, good. It's how I saw Solo. And I'm kind of getting similar-ish vibes from this to where, I don't know, I feel like I was more emotionally attached to the characters before I saw The Force Awakens. Now I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just kind of meh. Even after Force Awakens, I was still attached to the characters. And again, I saw The Last Jedi was fine, but I'm at a point where I don't really care what happens. I mean, there could be a spoiler that comes out and says, Finn dies, or Rey dies, and I would be like, okay. Whereas if that came out for Avengers, I would have been like, oh, no, I didn't see that. Because I care about those characters so much more. Whereas at this point, I wish I cared more. I just don't. But regardless of how I feel, tell me what you think of this trailer down in the comments below. Are you excited for this Star Wars movie, or are you kind of like me and just kind of like, meh, I don't know. However you feel, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with all your friends, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay classy. Later. Ooh.